Hey everyone, this is Mary. You're watching another little piece of my art, and today I thought I would show you some completed pages, or my completed pages, for the month of May 2025. Now that it is June, I don't have a ton because I have been working a lot in sketchbooks and paintings, so that'd probably be a different video. It would just make it too long. Okay, so I had picked this book up when I was in Ohio this past January. There's two versions of it, and I got both of them because I love just little, Coke made a wet spot. I just love little animal books, and I love books with the pre-printing on the pages. I just think these are so sweet, delicate, and just cute, just fun to do. And I loved the fact that they were one-sided. So I did make a short on this on my channel, so you might have already seen it. But I did the page that the front cover is, which was this one. And I used all budget items on here. I can't remember the paints that I used. So if you want to know, you can look at that short. But I know I used the Jot watercolor pencils on here as well. So when I first got them and demoed them for you guys, I was really not impressed, and I thought I would, maybe just donate those. But the more I work with them, the more I like them. It just really depends upon the paper, like most things do. But I feel like I just wish they had more colors, because you can only get 12. But I feel like for what they are, they're pretty vibrant, and you can get some decent variances in shades. So, and then I just colored my background in with a Sharpie, and I don't know why I did that. Why did I do that? I don't know. It just must have been the mood I was in, I guess. But maybe I wanted to make the orange and green pop better. I'm not sure. But yeah, this is a fun book, and I'm looking forward to doing more of the little delicate florals. I think some of them will be really cute, just with regular pencils. But and some of them might be nice with markers, especially these types where you want a nice crisp line. So there's that. And if you want to order this book from, I don't know where, this is what it's called. NALM, Nalm Creative, out of Atlanta. You could probably find these on eBay, because that's what people do, buy up, the stuff that they think is going to sell good at the Dollar Tree and then flip it on eBay. And then I had this book. I had this book in my donate pile because I've been really going through my coloring books. I'm just not using them as much anymore. I don't know. It's not that I don't want to color anymore, because I absolutely do. I just don't feel like I need that much of a variety, because a lot of my coloring books have a lot of different types of pages in them, and so I don't know that I need like a whole specific book of A, B, or C, or whatever. So I've been kind of going through them and trying to decide what I don't think I'm going to use. I had this one in the donate pile, and then I was like, I don't know, let me see, let me give it a shot. So this is Anamorphia, Sea and Sky. The reason that I picked this one up, and I did get it at Books A Million, I think this was, I picked it up there because I like small books. I like to be able to carry them around and cart them around and stuff. But I'm not a fan, okay, of the little doodly things. That's the problem with Kirby books and me, is the little doodly things. I think it takes away from the beautifulness of the work. And I know that, that is his own style trademark and stylistic choice and stuff. So I'm not trying to take anything away from the man's talent. I'm just saying that sometimes it's just not what I want to color, So that was going through my mind when I was thinking about getting rid of it. These ones I did before, and this one has no pencil on it yet. But I had been, testing it to see And then the first one I had completed was this one. And I remember not liking, and I don't remember which watercolors these were, but I remember not liking the way that watercolors worked out on them. And I think that's why maybe I had it to the donate. But then I was like, well, let me try another page and see how I feel about it. And I did, started this one. And I think this is using Marie's watercolors, the ones that I got from Temu, which are, I love these watercolors. And going in then after with pencils. So I started that one, and of course it's not done. Let's see though where we went. Okay, so I did this guy here, and I have a short on this, the process of this page, but I'm not sure if I posted it yet. I'll have to look. But I was doing this with dots of marker dots, and making them. So this one was a lot of fun to me. There wasn't a lot of little doodly guys. I liked the undersea theme, which I used different paints and a little bit of marker. You can see there. But yeah, I just, I used, again, I think I used the Jot pencils. I'll look and see if the short is posted. If it's not posted, I'll go ahead and post it, and you can see, because I usually have all what I'm using lined up there. But I enjoyed this. It was a very long page because there's different colored dots going all the way through it. You probably can't tell. I even used some ink pens, I think, and did like some scrumbling in there. And I had fun doing this, so I was like, well, there are a few, there are more sea-themed ones in here since it is entitled Sea and Sky. So Kirby made the cut for a while longer, and we'll see what happens with this one. Okay, and then I know I made a short on this. I decided that I was totally ignoring my beautiful watercolor books. I have Rainforest Escape and Carnival Escape. They're both by Jay Gideon. And I don't know why I had never used these, because they're really fun to do. So I did take one out, and I wanted to see if I could make a budget page out of that, because my mind has been there lately. Not that I don't have other supplies to use, but I just like to see, how much you can really push the budget supplies. It's a passion of mine to see what can really be done with them, So I was like, well, I don't think I've ever really tested some budget stuff with them. I guess I must have been playing with some watercolor sprays at one time. It wasn't recently. Sorry, I did not mark this. It shouldn't be this hard to find. Okay, here it is. So I used the same Jot watercolor pencils, the 12 pack you can get probably right now at your Dollar Tree. I used those on this page. And I also used, for the background, I used one of those Dollar Tree crafter square like markers. The kind of iridescent type markers. I'm trying to think of what else. I cannot remember. Yeah, you can look on the short if you're interested, but I had a blast doing this page. There's things I would have done different because everything is kind of blending in. But remember, I just had the 12 pencils, so I was kind of seeing like the variations I could get, from light to dark and stuff like that. And I did mix, I was able to mix those pencils just by scratching them, on a palette and then mixing the colors to get even more colors. So surprisingly good. If you're, up in the air about getting pencils from the Dollar Tree, I would say get those over any other pencils that they have there, because you could just use them as a pencil, and then you can also use them as a watercolor. So it seems like, you know, a no-brainer on that, because a lot of their other pencils are just bad. They're just bad. Dollar Tree is not the place you want to go shopping for pencils. But sometimes, you know, you're out going somewhere, or you're on a trip or something, and you're in the car and you're going to lose your mind, so you stop at one because that's what's there, and why not, you know? So that's that page. And then, so it's come to the time of year again, once again, for us to be working in the ocean book that I love, Inspired Coloring Ocean. Well, I have so many videos talking about this book in the past. I love the book, but the paper is problematic, and also I get tired of only being able to use pencils, you know, without coming through. So I, you know, have been kind of going through and revamping some things to prep for this year. So let's see what we got. I didn't mark because there's just a lot going on. I had these two prepped last year, these backgrounds. One is starting to bleed onto the other, but I don't think it's a huge deal. But I'm going to try to complete that page so that it can be sprayed. So what my plans to do are, if I like a page and I really want to do it really however I want it, with, you know, like Tombow markers or something that I know is going to bleed through, I'm just going to choose which page I want to do more, and then I've been going through my other books to come back and use in here. So I'll show you what I mean. I did finish this one this year. Oh, this was some kind of note about this side too. I did finish this one. It was missing a bunch of just like half of it wasn't done or whatever. So, you know, just finished that one. Background is kind of streaky, but I kind of like it, because if you live or visit Florida often, you'll notice that like this modeling kind of happens to like buildings and things. A lot of motifs around here are like this modeled thing, so I'm not too upset about it. I did do this one, which of course bled through. So this was my note for this page. So on this page, I want to cut around, fussy cut around this, and just make that like a cool, I don't know, cut page. So that's what that note was. I had plans for this book for quite some time. I used, what did I use? I might have used, I guess I used mostly alcohol markers. I don't have many left. I made friends with a young artist on TikTok. Hold on, let me open this Coke. I made friends with this young artist on TikTok. He's out of Texas, and he's so talented. And I asked him, like, when I look at his drawings and stuff, what kind of supplies he uses, and he said that all he has is Crayola. And so I was like, well, I'm gonna send him. I'm gonna ask him if he would like my alcohol markers, because I'd asked my daughters and neither one of them wanted them. So I just can't use Sharpies anymore at all, like without getting a terrible headache. I have to do it outside. So I messaged him and I said, you know, would you be interested in working in Sharpies? And he said, yeah. And I said, okay, well, give me a couple weeks to feel better, and then I'm going to gather you a box. So this might be, this color looks like the Crayola brand of alcohol markers, where they don't smell like that terrible smell. So yeah, what I was talking about was getting other pages out of books. So I used to take, and whatever book I wasn't going to keep, I used to rip my pages out and put them in a binder. Now I have like 3 giant binders, and I don't want 3 giant binders anymore. So I'm going to start going through and trying to reuse the pages on some of these things in some way, whether to be cutting it up and making other art out of it, or something. But I saw this one. It was from one of those coloring by numbers books. And so I'm going to take this and I put this there because the beach is got sun, and that reminds me of sun. And, you know, she looks like meditative and happy to be there. So that's going to go there. And see, it was a double page anyway, so I would have gotten aggravated doing that whole thing. So that will work out. But that's how it's going with this. This page was like my favorite creation from last year. But if you can see, like you can see on this side how it is, and then like here it's not, like we haven't finished. And I had to look and look, but I finally found this little project bag stuffed in my drawer, and literally has, I was like, that's where that went, and that's where that went, that's where that went. And even down to like some crayons that I was using in this book last summer. So I guess we'll just continue on and try to finish this one up. Though you probably, if you just look at it quick, you probably didn't notice it. It could just be me, but it was starting to hurt my arm a lot. But I do love this page, and the paint is Timu paint, and it would have been probably better with a second coat because some of their iridescent paints are a little thin. But you know, this is just a coloring book, and do I have that much energy? And then this one I'm going to work on, it looked like the whales were peeing, so I started covering this up with, like that up with just some white paint on my finger. But I might go ahead and, oh, that side's already done. Maybe I'll just post something over this, because I don't know if I feel like doing both sides. We'll see. I did finish this one. I don't know why I didn't sign it, but you'll have to believe me. And yeah, again, I wanted to use markers, so I just did. And you can see where they have come through. So I will just do this side of the fish and glue something on that side. I didn't add any pencils to this yet or anything else. And I think this background was done with those like cake watercolors that I have. And you know, it's very streaky, but I kind of like the colors and the way it looks. So I might just go back over it again, maybe with the same colors, and see. But yeah, first I'm gonna have to, because I think I used my markers as shading. I don't know if you can see, but I still think that I want to go with pencils too. It just made me happy to get something really punchy poppy in here instead of having to worry about the bleeding through problem all the time. Let's see. I still have to find, there's like 3 things or 4 things right here I need to color on this one to finally be done with that page. I know I was working on more than that. Okay, so this must have bled through even though I didn't do this one this year. So I posted from that same coloring magazine, what do you call these? Color by number. I just put this in there because I had saved it when I got rid of the magazine. I did not have the right marker because these were supposed to be beige, and I didn't have beige markers at the time, so they kind of, it looks weird. But I liked the picture, like what it looks like. And then I did get rid of the Deborah, is it Deborah Muller? The mermaid book. I'm thinking that was one of the ones that was hit with water during the hurricane, if I remember correctly. But I think that this page was already torn out. I'm not sure, but I put it in here because This page was, I think that the background was done, but maybe some of this darker stuff right here, and I think I just finished that up this time around, because it says July of 24, but yeah, I wouldn't have covered the back if, you know, it was already done and there wasn't a problem. So that one, here's one. I had to cut this down quite a bit. This is from Joanna Basford's Ocean book. What do you call it? Yeah, you know the one. But I love the colors scheme on here. This was one I just had. I didn't even color the little diamonds. This is when I just first started, and I think all I had was Crayola Super Tips, and maybe I had got Stellar Fine Liners. I had bought Stellar Fine Liners just because I got the Lost Ocean book, because my Super Tips would not fit in these tiny little doodads. But I like this color scheme. I wanted to keep this particular page, so I did glue it on the back of another one of my favorite pages, because this one I use polychromos, and I only have 12 of them, but I adore them. They are so bright. A lot of the colors, though, this was, I think, a gel pen. A lot of these darker colors did come through, so yeah, on both sides. So that's why that one's there. And then on this side was a very simple page that I did, and I just did it. It was from, I think it was from a Creative Haven mandala book, but I did the page very simple and very muted, because I'm thinking about writing around the edge of it, and I don't want it to be like, you know, so it's very light watercolor. This is actually the same green but watered down, the green and the pink. And then I left the dots of the bubbles undone yet, because I think I'm gonna use stickles on those when I'm finished with what I'm gonna write. So this was under there. This was a double page spread, and it was under there. And yeah, I know that's why in this little project bag we have like this blue and stuff like that. I was using some Prismas on this last year, so good thing I made the little bag. So that's what's nice about having little pencil cases, just small ones around, because if you ever have to separate stuff, you can do that, and you might lose it for a year, but like me, but you probably will find it again. So we're gonna have to work on that one. And then this one, so this one, I did this background last year, and for the backgrounds I had always used my that big red, hold on, I always use these. They have no name brand on them. They are chalky, and you know, but they're not bad. They're you can make them thicker, of course, you know, by not having as much water, and then you can really thin them out. They're just chalky, maybe kids paints, I don't know, but they have a lot of colors, and a lot of the colors that I like. And then they have, you know, some of these fluorescent colors. So last year I spent some days just doing backgrounds in this particular book. And this background is kind of it looks weird to you, but to me it's like a mustard color. So I thought I'm gonna use that palette that I got for Christmas from Tom, my watercolor palette, that's the Semi Art vintage colors, and paint these little squids and whatnots. And I mean, I'm not gonna go looking them up to see what colors they are or whatever. I'm just gonna paint them in the different shades on that palette. I think that might look pretty cool. I don't know, guys. It's weird, the books that we end up liking for no reason that we can't explain. This one I painted the background last year, but you can see a lot of the gel pen from the other page coming through. So this page looks okay. This page I might end up covering up with something from another book. I have to look through my folders because I did enjoy doing these jellyfish, even though these ones two right here are not done. I know this was a polychromos pencil, and I know which one it was, so I can finish that up fairly quickly. And I don't know what I'll do in the background. So this was a double page spread that I only did this side of because the same thing happened with the gel pens. I don't know if you can see it, but there are gel pens. The gel pens went through my paper, and so I pulled this out of that one book, the Color by Number book. It didn't have a name. I think it was like a magazine that you can buy. So I just covered that there. And then this page also, the back of, let's see, how'd that work out? I think some of this background paint bled through, but I was able to like build it into the coloration of what's here. So that's fine. And I have been working on this one. I have not finished it yet, but I've been just adding here and there as I feel like it. And this is a nice fun one, and I think these are also some Temu paints that I have that the background is. We'll see where that one goes. And then I guess something must have bled through on that side. Either that or I didn't want to do a full, maybe this was a full page spread of this design and I didn't want to do it. So this is another page pulled from, I think it was a Deborah Muller book. I don't know. I tried to find my washies that looked somewhat waterish, but I don't have that many left anymore. Okay, yeah, so this one I did with Crayola Super Tips. They bled through. This was a long time ago, so I found this page. I ripped it out before I got rid of the Deborah Muller Owl book. I ripped it out and I saved it because I knew I would like it and I would want to do it. So I colored this in with watercolors, and then I just added a little bit of details. But yeah, I just did this one in May. I wanted to make it like a little bit of a cloudy day. So I put that over there, and I never did go in and, go over things with pencils. So this book could have years of uses left in it if I did all the things. This is one of my favorites in here because I did this entire book with Crayola twistable pencils, and then on the background was just chalk pastels. So I think I finished this one. No, I finished the painting of it, but I still have to go in and add my my watercolor, my pencils. Yeah, I finished the painting of it though. So I've been flipping back and forth to and fro and just getting caught up because I usually put it away at the end of the year or the end of the summer. And then this one came from that book too, and I love this picture, even though, again, this is why I never liked these color by number books that much. I don't usually have the colors that they're asking for, but for some reason, even though I didn't have the right colors, I just love the way this one came out. So I wanted to save it, so I put it in there to cover, possibly because I didn't want to do 2 pages of this one design here. So I think that's all we got going on in there. That's quite a bit. And when I was doing the crab, when I first got the book, I tried this crab in watercolor and it bled through. So yeah, I have to decide, like, maybe I can just do, oh no, see, I don't want to do anything to this page because I love this page. So if we're going to do anything, we're going to have to do pencils on this side and maybe I'll just continue with the watercolor on that side. That would be kind of neat, like a pencil side or a watercolor side and a pencil side, because if it bleeds through, then I'll just do this side and cover this side with another page from another coloring book. Okay, so that's that. And then the last thing I have to show you is I've been digging this one back out. Again, certain books I seem to work on in the summer. I like these small ones I can throw in the bag if, you know, we're going out somewhere for the day or for many hours. I have a fear of getting bored, you know. Even though we have phones and stuff, I like to keep my hands busy. So this is a Dream Pocket book of coloring, and this is an OG, because when I opened it, it said that I got it for Christmas and in 2016. And my husband said he got it at Five Below, and he got me too. So I don't know where you can buy this particular book. Again, you can probably look it up online on eBay. They have everything. But I love this book because it really is very dreamy. Like, the pictures are dreamy. So I showed you a lot of these before, but in case you're new, at one time my brother had bought me 100 gel pens and I was trying to use them all up. I'm probably down to a handful now. My brother moved to Boca. I really miss him, and he just came to see me last week. But yeah, so when I got like through using the colors that I would normally use in other things, I had some colors left over, and I just started using them in the book to try to go through them before they dried out. So yeah, you'll see a lot of colors that I don't particularly enjoy, but hey, I do enjoy the blues, and I try to do stuff in here that I would never do in a book, a full-size book, because I would be worried about ruining the page with their patterns. And I'll tell you what's funny is sometimes the more experimental you are, the better that you're going to like the turnout. Yeah, as long as you kind of... Too many colors is bad, as in my opinion. If you keep it in the same kind of color family, I do have a little color wheel that I look at when I'm doing these, but other times I just went rogue. I really like this one, and I love this picture. I don't know what it is, but it reminds me of like the top of a tent. If you were looking up, if you were somewhere, I don't know. Don't ask me. It's a dream book. Maybe this was my dream. I was not a fan of this one whatsoever, but orange and blue go great together. So, you know, I might write something here. These are all works in progress as far as that's concerned. I really did enjoy this one. Christmas vibes for sure. I hate this picture, but I needed to use up purples, and so I think I'm going to put another, like an actual photograph, you know, like, I don't know, something a bit smaller or something, but something in there to cover up a good portion of it, because I hate it. This is the one I was talking about. You don't, like, I would have never picked this palette starting out, but I just started coloring it in, and somehow this is one of my favorites. I think it's this pop of the different ones in the middle, because some of them are different colored down here, you know. I really like the way this turned out, and it does have a lot of purple, which I don't like. This one was fun, very dreamy. Good place for a quote, maybe right there. Yeah, these are not colored in. I don't know why. I don't know if I thinned out watercolor, or if, yeah, some of them are very thinned out, but some of them are just not done. So that's weird. I usually don't skip them. This page I hate because of this sticker. I wasn't paying attention and didn't realize it was like the sticker that's, you know, see-through. So I'm going to put something right here. And I think what it might be, I brought it out to show you. I had got these from Temu a long time ago. They're paint your own bookmarks. And they're super, super cute. I don't think the paint is very nice at all. Of course, this paper is so slick, like maybe the paints would be not too bad on actual watercolor. But yeah, I thought that the pictures are adorable, so I might just go ahead and color it in the rest of the way, like, you know, fill it in with pencil or something. I'm not sure. I don't know. Or I might just use a magazine cutout. Who knows? The ideas just never end, you know? This one I really, really love. I used some metallic pens and a little bit of stickles and some even metallic pencils. It's one of my favorites. This one, I had a quote, and I don't know where I put it, but I have it. It's just put to the side somewhere. But she's a girl from a totally different coloring book that I colored and put on there just to make them a little bit more interesting. This one was just, I just slapped paint on there. I just really wasn't, I didn't feel like it. And this is another one of my favorites. Again, like, totally unexpected color, but it's very Seussical, right? And I did use, I think I used, well, you can see glazed pencils on there. I think I used, yeah, watercolor. This paper is another thing. This paper is really nice paper. So I think I used watercolor for that part, the leaves or whatever, petals. And then I just went over it with pencil, but I also got out some like bright neon gel pens and different stuff. So that one was fun. This one is boring, very boring. This picture I absolutely hate. Like, I mean, I hate it. And I had to force myself to do it, but I did it and will never speak of it again. This one I really like, and I used these. So I got these metallic twist ups gel crayons from Five Below. I scratched them on here to use, and it's been a learning curve to try to get consistency with it, but look how pretty they are. I really like them, and this kind of thing will last you for years. Like, there is quite a bit in here. I've only used these a couple times, but I could keep rolling and rolling, and you don't need very much. I don't want to roll it and make it fall out, but you don't need very much at all to do a background. So, you know, I do buy a lot from Five Below. I like most of it. And this is one thing that if you do like glittery stuff, you might want to consider, because remember, this is not watercolor paper, and I think it looks pretty good other than my own user error of not being able to. So I'm thinking next time I try a different color, which I will, I'm thinking of putting it directly on. The only thing is that they're fat, you know, at the top, but I'm thinking of putting it directly on and then spreading, which you might have more of a uniform look, because I've already done another background in my Dr. Seuss book with them. So, and yeah, it doesn't really come off on your hands once it's dry, which is another plus. So yeah, there's that one. And then this is another one of my favorites. I love coral and turquoise together. Like, if I see someone wearing a coral and turquoise necklace or a coral and turquoise ring, my head always turns. I just think they're beautiful together. And then I just, you know, kind of went a little darker and a little lighter to make sure that it wasn't clashing really too much, but it was sort of in the same color families. And that's how it came out. I really like this one. And this is Five Below's illustration markers, I think is what they're called. I got them as a gift for Mother's Day. So, yeah, they're just the double-ended. One end's a brush tip and the other end is a fine liner. This one, I absolutely hated it because this ended up looking like celery. And but then I got some pencils and did a few different colors over the marker color. And that marker was also in most of these here. From here over are all of the illustration markers from Five Below, because I just got them and I wanted to use them. So all these that you see, including this one, this yellow or this green did not look that way when I swatched it, but when I got it on the paper, I was like, oh. So I just had to do whatever to fix it. But it kind of reminded me of mermaid scales right there. So that is my contribution to Mermaid. I really like this one too. I don't get to see fall anymore, so I wanted to, even though it's now summer, I wanted to make this page fallish looking. And my idea was that, like, this is the river that we go to, and there's the river bank, and there's the trees, and that's what they would look like, you know, up north. And then the gray sky. So I can enjoy them in a book and not have to deal with the cold that comes with them. So there's no no pencil added to this yet. It's all just those markers, the illustration markers by Five Below. And then this one, I used the markers, the same markers. I used some Staedtler fiber tip markers, and I used some of the glitter, like the glitter gel pens that I got from Jen. They're like the kind that you push the tip down and it comes out, you know, like you pump the tip, and they are stunning. So I did enjoy this. I'm not, purple and pink are like probably two colors that I would not use if I did not want to use up, because that's what happens. My supplies get used so unevenly, and I end up with those colors, you know, like left over. So I try to use them whenever I possibly can, so that I don't always stick to the same colors, which would be blue and orange and yellow, stuff I like more, you know. So I just thought this was kind of a pretty mandala, like just in itself. It's kind of, well, it's dreamy. I told you this was a dream coloring book. And then this is my last one, you guys. I did not like this picture at all. I thought it did not make any sense. I had to connect some lines. And then I just like took a ruler and blocked off some of it, because I hated the picture so much I didn't even want to color it all the way to the edge. I thought it might give some interest, and I thought I might write a quote going down here with my white gel pen. But yeah, I just used some markers, and those were Faber-Castell Pitt pens, and I did not blend over them, but I did go around things with more of those gel pens that I was just talking about, that Ohuhu ones that Jen sent. So yeah, I don't like this page, but you know, I just decided I'm going to do them, and that's just the way it's going to be. So next we'll deal with this one, which is not bad, but not great. And then I did at one point skip around a bit for some reason. So I did this one last year, and I loved this picture, and I love the way it turned out. Yeah, I just liked it. It had all, I think I used different gel pens and things that I can't use in that ocean book that I really wanted to use, because everything bleeds through, but there's something on the back. But you can see, I sometimes put poetry in my books, but you can see where like the gel pens and everything just bleed right through. And then this one I found, when I was doing these other ones, I was like, okay, apparently I made a background and just left the butterflies blank. So I did the butterflies using this same illustration markers from Five Below. I kind of like the vibe of this. It's giving, if you had an uncle, a hippie uncle in the 70s, and he had like one of those green light posters, it's giving that. I did. His name was Stevie, R.I.P. And this one apparently I did long before. This is crayons. I can see the crayons, and some of it is ink pen, and then some of it is marker. So, you know, just go wild, I guess. Put anything in there. These books are fun for that. Test things out. You know, try color schemes that you would not normally try. It's a good time. And being they're small, you're not committed for as long as a time, you know. And another one I do not like because that is too many colors, but it's done, and here it is. But I did that one last year. So the drippy heart kind of creeps me out. I don't know, why is it bleeding? And if it's bleeding, why are we having a party about it? I don't know, guys. But okay, well, that's all I have. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you back here next week with something else. Bye-bye.